Next up is our startup competition. They will have 2.5 minutes to present. They are going to present back to back to back to back. Judges, I'm going to ask you to take notes. And I'm going to ask you to pick at the end your top 3 in order. Your third place, your second place, your first place, under the guise of which one you're most likely to invest in. We'll then give a half point for third place votes, a full point for second place votes, and 2 points, the money ball, for each of your first places. We'll count those up, and the top 4 scorers will get to go to Q&A. We'll then have those 4 come up, do Q&A, and then we'll do 3, 2, 1 again and rank them, and then I'll pick my order for which one I would be most likely to invest $100,000 in. Okay, and then we'll do due diligence on them, yada, yada. Okay, we'll put 2.5 minutes on the clock. There's your clock. Judges, why don't you introduce yourself?
So I'm Rob May. I've been emceeing half the day, co-founder and CEO of Tala, and investor at Half Court Ventures.
Hey everyone, I'm Kira Noodleman. I'm an investor at B Partners.
Jana Eggers, CEO of Neurologics, an AI platform.
3, 2, go.
Hi, we are Team Loro, and Loro is building a smart, personalized companion, giving people with limited mobility the freedom to connect with the world. Simple tasks are daunting for people with limited mobility. People often have difficulty speaking, limited neck mobility, and difficulty pointing. This leads to a limited field of vision and difficulty communicating, building frustration, a loss of independence, and lack of social connection. And this is a huge problem. There are 70 million wheelchair users worldwide, and this is a huge market. And 40% of these people go bankrupt. That's why we built Loro, giving control, communication, and connectivity. First, there's a device that you attach onto a wheelchair, and then an app that users download, all controlled through eye tracking.
Let's see how Steve uses Loro. First, we easily attach Loro onto Steve's wheelchair. Next, Steve easily downloads our user-friendly app. Now, Loro is ready to use everywhere he goes. Loro has a 360 rotating camera, allowing Steve to have a broader field of vision and to drive his wheelchair more safely. Here, Jack is controlling Loro with his eyes, as Loro can be controlled hands-free by all kinds of input devices, including eye tracking, head mouses, and joysticks. Next, communication. For example, when Loro sees a bottle of water, Loro suggests sentences like, "Can I have a bottle of water?" or "I am thirsty." Next, there is the Smart Follow Cam. For example, when Loro meets Johei, the camera is centered on Johei, following moving people or objects as a smoother form of communication. An integrated smart home allows users to have seamless control of their homes, like turning on and off lights and controlling temperatures with the blink of an eye. Now, let's see what Steve has to say about Loro.
First, to bring artificial intelligence that is accessible to the disabled. Loro is a game changer.
And we currently have 76 users in our pilot test program, and we have 100 pre-orders. And we follow a B2B, B2C with insurance reimbursement. And we will launch Loro in this November. However, we need your help to make Loro a success. And we've had very strong traction in the past year, and we hope that you'll join us in our team to give freedom and independence back to those who need it most.
Okay, big round of applause for Loro. Next up, have the next person ready to go. Next up is Tastry. 2.5 minutes on the clock, 3, 2, go.
Hi, I'm Katerina Axelson, and I'm the founder of Tastry, and Tastry taught a computer how to taste. Tastry is a SaaS and insights company that created revolutionary AI, analytical, and flavor chemistry methods to predict how consumers will perceive sensory-based products. And we succeeded where multi-billion-dollar companies failed because we invented what we call singularization to capture the granular and predictive insights that the data flywheels miss. Instead of using collaborative filtering to recommend products, we use our unique first principles in flavor chemistry models. And our dynamic AI-generated quiz connects consumer palate preferences to various flavor matrices of products. Shoppers who use Tastery are 45% happier with their purchase. Our beachhead market is wine and retail, so retailers pay Tastery to recommend wine to their customers. We're deployed with multiple brands across the US. We will be in over 1,200 stores by the end of 2020. We see an amazing 5 to 10x ROI, 5% lift in sales, 18% lift in margin, and our vision is to disrupt the 3-tier distribution system by also working directly with the manufacturers and connecting them to our retailer partners. We're already working with one of the largest alcoholic beverage conglomerates, and we prove that we can predict the aggregate consumer score for wines before they hit the market. So the orange line was our predicted score, and the green was the actual score, so we can predict within a 1/10 of a point. We also used what we call computational blending and took a 3.6 out of 5-star wine, modified its blend, and increased its retail value by 207%. That's worth millions of dollars to a manufacturer. The C-suite and category buyers use the Tastery Insights dashboard to see what products are recommended to what shoppers and when. We show the top performers, optimize the product mix accordingly, and forecast demand based on evolving consumer preferences. We also market new products to customers that we already know they're going to love. And Tastery provides unprecedented insight because we compare our database to the inventory and expose the retailer to new and emerging brands. We make over 90% margin. We will be cash positive in December. We have an amazing tech and business team. Tastery, we taught a computer how to taste.
Okay, well done. Do not drop the microphone, please. It was a drop the microphone moment, but don't do it. Pass the microphone.
Yeah.
Next up is Hank. 2.5 minutes on the clock. 3, 2, go. Thank you for the audible, Rob.
I'm Zach Denning, CEO and founder, and we are Hank. So commercial offices operate horribly and are terribly uncomfortable because they're managed with crappy old DOS-like systems. So we found small, medium-sized buildings actually have fully operational automation systems that are akin to a central nervous system. They have a brain or Ethernet-based front end. It's going to ingest a bunch of sensory data in order to control subsystems. What you find, though, is those brains are programmed insanely haphazardly, leading to huge runoff post-install. Small, medium buildings make up the biggest chunk of the commercial building sector, and now the door is wide open to go fix all these stupid buildings, which is what we've done with Hank. Hank is an end-to-end AI virtual building engineer. He layers on top the existing brain to take full autonomous control of buildings. Hank ingests the same sensory data the brain does, but now runs it through machine learning to control those subsystems almost 15 times more effectively. Hank's success is broken down into 3 categories. The first, we've created over 7 different proprietary manufacturer protocol drivers. Allows Hank to be a vendor-agnostic solution in our market. Secondly, we've developed templatized models for over 95% of the hardware found in commercial office buildings today. That means we can deploy over 400 different regression analysis models and tune them in less than 3 days. Finally, we created a great filtering system. It's 3-tiered. Our filtering system allows our regression models to be over 90% accurate in their predictions. When you take Hank versus the local incumbents in our market, we've been able to reduce cost, setup time, and payback by over 85% by automating these old protocols and old programming languages. Hank's deployed using a 4G LTE router plugged into that existing brain. He gets online in less than 14 days, and he drives down comfort complaints and service calls over 75%, and he's the best real estate investment to date. Our customers sign on to a 2-year contract, already talking to us about ancillary services like lighting and security we can use to help bump our monthly revenue. When we look at the breakdown of our go-to-market strategy, right now with just 8 customers in the Sacramento ecosystem, we can get over to a $2.5 million run rate in less than 2 years. Applying that same strategy and extrapolating it out to over 8 different geos in California alone, we get to over a $100 million run rate in less than 7 years. This is Team Hank, made of a bunch of ex-smart building guys, and we're here to solve this stupid building epidemic in the United States. I'm Zach Denning, and we are Hank.
Okay, well done. With 10 seconds left. I like it. No clacker. Okay, next up is 3D look. 2.5 minutes on the clock. I like the pace. 3, 2, go.
Hi, I'm Whitney, and I'm co-founder of 3D Look. We generate 3D body models and measurements from just 2 photos taken on any smartphone from the dressed consumer in under 10 seconds. And we transform this digital data into business intelligence. So our approach at 3D Look is pretty simple. If we can understand what the consumer actually looks like, then we can help brands and retailers reimagine design, fit, sizing, and customer discovery in a way that has never been done before. So consumers need 3D Look because if you've ever tried to buy something online, it's quite simply really difficult to figure out what size to buy. So we deliver true personalization to the consumer, to you guys. We are a B2B solution. We help retailers and brands improve profitability. We have multiple use cases, and that will help us to collect the largest data set of human body profiles in history. On traction right now, we are on track to do about $750,000 in revenue this year, and we are seeing 30+% month-over-month growth right now. You'll see April and May right there. We've got an enterprise pipeline of over $2 million with some of the leading brands and retailers, contracts with H&M, VF Corp, and Nike among them. We've got about $436,000 projected in licensing coming out from that enterprise, and we've also got government contracts and a contract with one of the largest manufacturers of uniforms that supply the DoD. And brands and retailers need 3D Look because ignoring what we look like just helps to escalate return rates, inventory levels, and it puts a dent in bottom lines of retailers. So we can take a quick look here of how this works. It is not playing. So the consumer is going to upload a front and side photo of herself the minute she lands on a product page of her favorite brand. And instantly we recommend we map body data to garment data, and we make a fit recommendation in under 10 seconds. Clients love us. One of our biggest fast fashion brands has said perfect fit holds massive potential, and their customers understand completely what the customer is going to do with it. We have the right team to get this done.
3D Look. Well
Thank you
done.
so
Big round of
much.
applause. Next up, same space. 2.5 minutes on the clock. 3, 2, go.
Hi, I'm Shailesh Tyagi. I'm founder of SameSpace. SameSpace is a customer interaction automation platform. We have all the tools that you need in customer interaction, including voice, which is a super hard problem. You see a lot of chatbots there, but you don't see many voice bots. So we have solved that problem. We have a powerful analytics, which is also insanely beautiful. So the problem, while we might find it funny, but it wasn't funny for PayPal. And the way we solve this problem is by partnering with AI, partnering humans with AI. And I'm going to show you the magic right now. So I want to fly to New York next week, and I want to change my flight. So I'm talking to the bot of Blue Airline. It asked me my confirmation number, my last name. These are the only 2 things generally they need. Date. And instantly finds the availability of seats, tells me the change fee, and I say yes. So I'm done. But now, if I ask a stupid question that nobody has ever asked before, what happens? Let's see that. So this is an agent, real time. He gets the context, responds with an answer, and the magic is coming. And the customer doesn't know. He sends a response and simply drags that response into the question. So now if you make a call or somebody asks that question, it's already done, and transfer back to the bot. And here's the answer train conversations back in seconds. So next time somebody asking that question, you will get a right answer. The difference, great customer experience every single time, so never failure. 300% improvement. Paying customers, we are already profitable as a company.
Okay, let's
50
hear it for
people.
SameSpace. Well done. Big round of applause. Next up is Nimblebox.ai. I promised we'd stay on schedule, and we have. Here we go. 2.5 minutes on the clock. 3, 2, go.
Hi, I'm Anshuman, and I'm the founder of Nimblebox AI. Did you know that artificial intelligence is one of the fastest growing industries in the world? It'll become a $190 billion market by 2025. But here's the problem. AI development is really hard. 1, it requires a certified cloud expert to start an AI project. 2, it takes hours and hours of time to set up AI projects before you write a single line of code. And 3rd, if you make one mistake on the cloud, you have to start all over again. With Nimblebox, we solve that problem. Nimblebox is built by a team from MIT, Harvard, and Carnegie Mellon with over 15 years of experience in AI. Together, we have taught 1,000 students how to work in artificial intelligence. At Nimblebox, you can start your AI project in just 1 minute with just 1 click without ever leaving your browser. Researchers, developers, data scientists can come to Nimblebox, log in, click to start their project, and Nimblebox takes care of everything else, making connections to the cloud, installing the files, libraries, all of it. And guess what? They never have to leave the browser to code. If you're working in a team, you can collaborate with your team right from the browser. As long as you have an internet connection, a mobile phone, or any device, you can work on AI. With this, there is no need of cloud engineers. You become the only person who never needs to learn the cloud. We're saving time and increasing productivity of teams. And guess what? We're also 15 times faster than our nearest competitor, and the only solution in the market which is UI-based and is easy to use at the same time. We have 5 paying customers and many more in the pipeline right here in the Bay Area. So we're clocking $3,000 in MRR and projecting to do $6,000 in MRR very soon. And all of this was achieved just in the last 5 months. So we're now focusing on enterprises and on freelancers, with which we plan to reach $1 million in revenue. And our upcoming milestone is to put our focus on UI development, get more enterprise customers, and onboard 10,000 new AI engineers on our platform. If it's AI, it's on Nimblebox. Thank you.
Okay, well done. Okay, 2 to go. Next up is Vorga. 2.5 minutes on the clock. 3, 2, go.
Okay, here we go. Hi, I'm Kathy. I'm the founder and CEO of Vorga.
Into the microphone.
I have my PhD in chemical physics and spent the majority of my career developing and testing technologies for the Department of Defense to detect weapons of mass destruction. We've assembled a rock star team, and together we're ready to bring our technology to the cannabis industry. Potency testing is complex. It's expensive, and it takes a long time to get the results back, but it doesn't have to be. We've developed a method that's so simple, anyone can do it. We save our customers over $20K a month, and the data is in real time. How do we do it? Introducing Rosie, our AI-driven potency analysis platform. Rosie takes raw data from off-the-shelf instrumentation, analyzes it with our proprietary algorithms, and displays it in modules that are useful for our customers to understand. We literally remove the need to be a scientist to operate these complex pieces of instruments. Our customers use this data to ensure consistency of product line as well as transparency to their customers. And they love it. If you don't believe us, just ask them. This is a $9 billion market in cannabis and hemp alone. And as Rosie continues to grow and get smarter, she will empower the industry to make informed decisions through data. Rosie isn't just applicable to cannabis. Our methods can be applied across ancillary verticals in agriculture, such as hemp and such as hops and mushrooms. I'm Kathy. If you want to learn more, come find us at our booth.
Okay, well done. Okay, and we selected the companies at random, lest anybody think there's some sort of order here. Okay, now judges, I'm going to need your 3, 2, and 1, so I hope you're keeping that in mind right now as we go. Next is procedural.ai. 3, 2, go.
Hi. With procedural, we're actually automating the future of video games and movie production. And what we're doing is we're changing the paradigm of how 3D design is done from being tools-driven to artist-centric. Content is moving towards immersive, personalized experiences more and more, and what we don't realize is that these are extremely cost and time intensive. Netflix actually had to double down its time and production time and budget to produce that one episode of Bandersnatch. And it took Epic Games 7 years and over $350 million to launch Fortnite. This is where we come in. With procedural AI, we build 3D scenes in real time directly from natural language description. So how this works is, okay, so you can see, so as you type and give description, the AI automatically generates a perfect environment. It generates camera angles without any human intervention. It also generates dialogue, everything directly from the text and context that you're providing it. It's also trained on over 10,000 hours of video, 60,000 books, and so far 1 million 3D models. So gaming alone is $127 billion market. 44 million young adults in the US spend an average of $184 a year on gaming content. We're targeting just $20 off that spend in the next couple of years. And our go-to-market strategy is actually pretty simple. What we do is we're invite only, and we work with creators and game developers, and at the same time, we also sell environments and personalized content to bigger companies. So far, we ran an ideathon actually this month, and we have over 221 submissions for gameplay. We're also working with 3 big Instagram followers to launch their next music videos, and we're also doing a pilot with Toyota for their autonomous driving, and are working with Middle East Broadcasting Network to actually launch their localized content. We have a pretty killer team. Adnan was recently working on a DARPA project and has over 20 years of experience. We have a neuroscientist and a PhD in computer vision.
Okay, well done.
Thank you.
Big round of applause for procedural.ai. Okay. You got to see 8 great companies: Loro, Tastry, Hank, 3D Look, Nimblebox, Same Space, Vorga, and procedural.ai. I'm going to ask you for your number 3 and why. Your number 3. Whoever's got the microphone is ready. Take a look. Remember, no ties, but you can give up to 5 honorable mentions.
Well, I will just say, like, these are all interesting companies, and just as an investor, like, I'm seriously looking at all of them, right? I think they're all really good. My number 3 is going to be Tastry.
Tastry, why?
Well, so I love wine, and they actually stunned me the first time I met Kat with the demo, which when she did it and asked me some questions, actually their number 2 choice for me was the wine I'm most likely to drink when I go out. So that was pretty impressive. So I like the AI behind it.
Awesome. Kira, who's your number 3 and why?
Also Tastry, and it's because I like the huge customer set that they can be selling to, ranging from the manufacturing to the retailers to customers. And so I just think they have a lot of optionality in the future.
And I just want to admonish Rob for copying your voting. Okay, Rob, I know that got you through college. It's not going to get you through angel investing. Please don't cheat off to the person next to you. Did it? Really? Okay.
I'm going to break with the trend, and I'm going to go with Vorga.
Vorga. So you prefer cannabis to wine. Me too. Great.
It's true.
Yes. So why?
I like the chemistry component. I think it does cross industries really well, but that's a target market in a lot of places, and it's not just for the growers. It's also a big issue in government.
Great. So we have Tastry with a full point and 2 votes, and Vorga with half a point and 1 vote. Rob, tell us your number 2. Please don't look at Kira's results.
My number 2 is going to be Vorga for similar reasons to what Jana said. I think it's awesome.
Great. Bringing Vorga to 1.5 points and the lead. Kira, your number 2.
Yeah, my number 2 is Loro, and I really love the mission and their ability to help people who really can't communicate or lose a lot of money trying to do their normal daily lives. So love that.
So we have first place Vorga and Laura and Tastry using 1 and 2 votes to be in second place.
My number 2 is Hank.
Hank,
Because
great.
I think that industry, I know the real estate industry, and the big guys are spending a lot of money. The little guys will follow very quickly.
Great. So we have a 3-way tie for second place. First place is Vorga with 1.5, but having burned 3 votes or 2? 2 votes, right? Burned 2 votes. So they can only improve a little bit with 1 vote. Rob, tell me in general terms about this company, and then slowly reveal your first place winner. So you might go something like the founder was dynamic, the presentation showed a great total addressable market, yada, yada. Go.
Yes. So I've really fallen in love with business models that have both a hardware and software component. Because software struggles from high customer acquisition cost under recurring revenue models, but they get great multiples on the back end. Hardware margins can offset some of those, which can lead to faster, more capital efficient growth, which I like. And I also love mission-driven companies when they can be for-profit companies, because I think those companies, they have a more engaged customer base. I think they spread faster via word of mouth and all that. And that's why my number 1 is Loro.
Okay. Loro now with 3 points, is that right? 3 points and the lead by half a point. Kira, who's your number 1? You can do the same brutal, torturous reveal.
I really like opportunities that either create or augment and create a new data set and can enrich that data and create something really valuable from it. And so that's why my number 1 is Vorga. And I really like that this applies to cannabis, but really could go on to ag. There's a huge opportunity just in the general food space. Consumers don't know where their food comes. They don't trust the value chain and what people tell them. And so I just think the larger business opportunity is enormous.
Great. And I think that puts Vorga at 3.5 in first place. Jana, you already voted for Vorga, so they're not going to improve. We have Loro with 3 points and 2 votes, and then a bunch of people with 1 vote. Jana, talk in an opaque way about your selection, and I would love for you to drag this one out.
Wow, the pressure's on. This was someone that I think really understood their market and how it could expand. And while I do agree that I love some of the things that you guys talked about, particularly around the mission and the hardware components, I still think this one edged out for me. And I don't know what else to say. I'm starting.
Say it.
Can I say it now?
Say it.
Thank you. I'm going to go with Tastry.
Okay.
So I do like wine better than candy.
Okay. Demont, where does that wind us up?
Fourth place was Hank with 1 point. Tied, that was third place with Hank with 1 point. Tied for second was Loro and Tastry with 3 points, and Vorga with 3.5 points winning.
Okay, well done. Big round of applause. Let's bring up those 4 companies. Our 4th judge can come up, and then we'll do some Q&A, and then we're going to rank your 3, 2, and 1 from the final 4. We'll see if things change as we go to the Q&A. So I'd like to invite Vorga, Loro, Tastry, and then who was in 4th? Hank? And Hank. Come on up, the founders of those 4 companies. And you can stand in front of the podium. If you're feeling ambitious, Austin, you can, in the startup competition, delete the names of the honorable mentions and leave the winners. I know that's brutal. Go ahead and do it. Do it. Delete the logos. Delete their logos. All right. So here we go. We have 1 microphone. I'll ask you each to ask 2 questions. Rob, do you have a question for any of the companies? Whoever's got the microphone can ask a question of... let's time the whole thing at 10 minutes.
Go ahead and start.
Anybody with a concise question?
Okay.
And I'm going to ask for 20 seconds or less on each answer, concise. Jackie, 20 seconds or less.
Are we asking a specific founder a specific question?
Yes.
One for everybody.
I would say specific founder, specific question. Things that you would need to make an investment decision would be best.
So I'm going to go with Tastry and ask about, you're looking for something for an enterprise who already knows taste really well to adopt your product. So I'm curious what internal resistance that you have from those companies.
Yeah, so our beachhead market is actually in retail, and we found that our disadvantage is actually having to educate slow-moving grocery executives how to adopt this new and exciting technology. So our solution to that is just to show them the results and efficacy off the bat and not go into explaining this technology so much. So we get into the ROI.
Great.
Yeah.
Another question.
This is for Vorga. Are the off-the-shelf instruments going to be enough, and what other instruments might you need in the future?
20 seconds.
Yeah, so we tackle molecular compounds. So the system that we use is based on gas chromatography, so it is enough. We do not do microbials or heavy metals. In those cases, you need a different technology to do those.
So my question is for Hank. So I was an investor in another smart buildings company that didn't make it, and part of the reason they didn't make it was because they had a really hard time convincing the sort of building industry to change their ways. And so my impression of that industry is it's a little old and stodgy. And so I'm curious, is that what you're encountering, and do you have a plan to sort of break through that?
Yeah, so what you're talking about is the Nordstroms of smart building systems. These are the big buildings like you'd find downtown. We're trying to be the Walmart of smart building systems. We're going to where there's no technical gatekeepers, and we're becoming that technical gatekeeper for them. So we're the level of trust. And we've inspired them because we've tackled their number one issue right now, which is comfort, with an amazing ROI on the back end.
Great.
Great. Yeah, so really like the presentations from Vorga and Tastry. Question for you, how do you think about acquiring this data at scale, and how do you kind of maintain proprietary use of that data over time?
Are you asking?
Both Tastry and Vorga.
Okay, yeah, so we have a middleware, so we don't touch any of the customers' data, they don't touch any of ours, so they don't ever have access to anything that's proprietary, and it goes both ways. We don't really expose our methodology because it's really not important. They see the results, and that's enough for them.
Great.
Yeah, similar. We're collecting a lot of chemical information, but that's all on our back-end database, and our customers only see their data.
Great, thank you.
Lauro, how long has your product been in market? And what has the reaction been from the top, let's say, how long has it been in market, and what are the top 2 or 3 transcendent, transformational moments been for the product?
Yeah, so right now we're actually doing our pilot testing, and we will be launching this November, so not in market yet. However, one of the most transformational is that these people, they can use eye tracking, and our product is very flexible for iOS, Android, Windows. And basically that allows a lot of users a lot more flexibility, and it's at a great price point.
Great. Questions?
This question's for Lauro. How are you managing your feedback loop with people who have a hard time communicating?
Yeah, so you mean the way they tell us?
Yeah, and just at scale, how you're going to be gathering that data and constantly improving.
Yeah, so basically we have a timeline in which we're scheduling meetings with them, at least with our small batch pilot program, and we are having them actually through our text-to-speech and speech-to-text, whatever is best for them, to send us that information through forms.
Lauro, I have a quick question too, which is, have you considered having, we heard about remote truck drivers earlier in today's program. Is there an analogy here where a remote assistant, remote worker could be augmenting the AI suggestions on behalf of the individual? In other words, if I was in France and I had a translator with me, the equivalent for the person who is in a wheelchair could be conferenced in and be helping in some way. Have you thought about that? Has it come up?
Yeah, so with Lauro 2.0, what we're trying to do is a data-driven solution. So that will have live monitoring as well as smart alarms with caretakers and family members. So establishing that mode of communication would help them a lot just at a click, basically.
So a question for Hank, and it's similar to what Rob was asking too, which is, I know several of those real estate owners that are small to mid-sized, and they'll outsource building management and use a larger firm for building management. So do you see any channel opportunities there in working with some of those players as well, or are you looking to replace all of those?
Yeah, so adoption is still laggard. It's a laggard industry. If you try and supplant, which we did, it doesn't work out so well. So you don't want to supplant the technical gatekeeper. You want to become a part of their solution. We've already partnered with a lot of MEP design firms. One of the biggest on the West Coast so far. One of the biggest nationally has talked to us. And we've also partnered with a lot of local larger contractors that are really adopting it into their model.
Great. So my question is for Vorga, which is, I have not made a cannabis-related investment, and part of the reason I haven't is because it is a shifting legal landscape in a lot of different ways. And so as I look at this and I find myself really interested in it, is there anything that you see coming that is a potential legal risk for what you do, or could be a potential legal boon to what you do?
Yeah, that's a great question. So because we're an ancillary company, there is no legal risk from federal perspective. We are interested in becoming a testing technology for the government to use specifically for hemp compliance. So that is a boom for us.
Okay, I'm going to ask for 3 numbers. How much you've raised, what your revenue for 2019 will be, best estimate, obviously, and the number of full-time employees. Wait, was that my first one? Raised, revenue, full-time employees. Go.
We've raised $300K. We have 3 full-time employees. However, we are bootstrapped, so we're choosing to spend our resources on something else. Our ARR should be around $200K this year.
Great.
Yeah, so we've raised $400K, and we have 6 full-time employees, and then since we're launching at the end of this year, 2020 revenue is $1.4 million.
Great.
We've raised $1.8 million. We have a team of 14 people, and we should reach almost $500K in revenue by end of the year.
Great.
So we have 3 full-time employees. We raised $250,000, mostly bootstrapped. We won a grant for $150,000, and we should do around $300,000 this year.
Any other questions from our judges? Okay, now I'm going to ask you for your 3, 2, and 1. And you're going to just say them in order. No drama, no explanation, just 3, 2, and 1. Rob, you can just look at me if you don't want to make eye contact with them. Okay.
I don't think the Q&A session changed my ordering, so I would say Tastry, Vorga, and Loro.
Tastry, Vorga.
2, and 1.
And your number 1 is Laura. Okay, you got that, JD? Okay, next. Kira, your 3, 2, 1.
Mine changed slightly. Tastry, Vorga, and Loro.
Tastry, Vorga, Loro.
Which
is the same exact of Rob's.
Changed my
you guys
mind a
in the
little
same
bit.
study group or something? What's going on?
We're
here?
friends.
Okay, Jana.
So this was hard because I wanted to change, but I'm not there. So I'm going to go Vorga, Hank, Tastry.
Vorga, Hank, Tastry. Okay, and your 3?
And mine are Hank, Tastry, and Vorga.
Vorga in first, just to
Yep,
confirm.
Vorga in first.
Okay, Demont, where does that leave us?
All right, so that puts in 4th place still Hank with 1.5. And then tied for 2nd, Loro and Tastry, each with 4. And winning with 4.5 points is Vorga.
Okay. So, judges, I am largely in agreement with you. One quick reveal. You picked Hank in 4th place, and I've already invested in Hank. So literally, you guys hate the company I invested in.
I don't.
No, they can't. I know. So that's great for me. But I do like the way you chose, so I'm going to go with Vorga first, and we'll do due diligence. We'll get to know you. If it doesn't work out for the investment, then we'll let the 2nd place tied people vie for that. And if that doesn't work, I'm just going to plow the money back into double down on my investment there, or I'll reserve the right to split it between any number of the 1, 2, or 3 of you. This has been a great first day, I think. We start again tomorrow at 8 a.m. I'm fucking with you. It's a one-day event. It's a one-day event. My staff is pretty scared right now. Let me just take a moment to point out the folks who made all things possible. On the content front, thank you to Emmy Award-winning producer Jackie and Rob May. Let's give them a round of applause. On the picking up the tab and hosting us here, big round of applause for our friends at IBM. Couldn't have done it without them. And then finally, a lot of members of the launch team helped out. Go ahead and stand up. Charles, Nick, Jason DeMont, my man Austin from Inside, and Sam. Let's give them a big round of applause. And we'll see you in the demo. And thank you to our judges and our companies. Well done. Okay.